So let's say the affirmation together now. Today, I surrender to the power and presence within me, knowing complete peace, joy, love, and rest in this acceptance of truth. Now I would like you to take in a deep breath and release, and let this music take us into a silent place, followed by this evening's invocation.
Into the silence, into the silence, into the silence, I will be free.
I know that the silence does teach me to be free. It teaches me to be quiet. It teaches me to listen. Because I can feel peace as I calm myself. And I prepare myself to listen to Spirit's message through Judy-Ann. To listen to the song, to listen to the melody, to listen to the spaces in between that bring harmony and alignment and contentment. We are here for divine appointment. This is the right place for you to be, right here, right now. Where we come in celebration of this special evening, a new beginning. As we open up ourselves and allow ourselves to accept what is said, what is heard, what is felt. We let go of everything else. And we let this energy pull towards us. And we feel it vibrate within us. We are alive in this time, in this beautiful place where we can celebrate this evening together. Each a unique individual gift, but we blend together like beautiful colors. Accepting the same emotion, the same fears, the same love, the same joy. We are one on this palette of life. And we accept that as we embody that presence and that power within us that guides us and leads us to have that open heart as we go out into this community and greet each other with acceptance and non-judgment and love. So we are so grateful to be here in this moment, together with this service, to be open, to allow Spirit to move through us with everything that we hear and feel. So I say thank you. And in this moment, I just rest and say, and so it is.
alive with spirit, with spirit.
Spirit, spirit. I am aligned with spirit, with spirit.
I am alive with spirit, with spirit.
Welcome again. We're so grateful to have you in the presence today. Some dreams live on in time forever. Those dreams you want with all your heart. So I'll do whatever it takes. Follow through with the promise I made. Put it all on the line. What I hope for at last would be mine. If I could reach higher, for that one moment touch the sky. In that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be put my spirit to the test. If I could reach. Some days are meant to be remembered. Those days you rise above the stars. So I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb. All the more that this dream, the more that this dream will be mine. So I'll reach higher, for that one moment touch the sky. For that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. I'll put my spirit to the test. If I could reach. If I could reach higher, for that one moment touch the sky. One moment in my life, I'm gonna be so much stronger. Know that I've Thank you very much.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that magnificent voice is Miss JJ. And the group is called Soul to Soul. They are our musical team. We love them. They are absolutely fabulous. And I'm so glad that they are here. So now as I get all my little electronic stuff to do what it's supposed to do, okay. This is interesting. Okay. You know how you get all these new electronic toys and they're supposed to make your life easier? That's not always so true. They just make your life. I'm not going to even say it's easier. They just make it what it is. Okay. Lord, wait. This is so not good. Okay, I'm trying to make this do what it's supposed to do. And guess what? It is going to do what it's supposed to do in just a minute. Not yet. Okay. Here is the reality. There it is. Cup of acceptance. I thought about this long and hard. What does it really mean to me? This is what it means to me. Each one of us was born by birthright with a cup of acceptance. Now, we live here in Vegas, so we're pretty familiar with buffets, right? Y'all all know what the buffet is. And you go into the buffet, and they have all these stations set up everywhere. And when you come in, there's always plates. We all come into this life with everything that we need. We don't need to go nowhere to find nothing and ask anybody about anything. Life is a buffet. I have decided that I am a hostess at the buffet of life. Let me tell you why I say this. In the cup of acceptance, if this is the cosmic buffet, you can have whatever you want. You come in, you're given some utensils. There are a stack of plates over here. You can get a small plate, salad plate, dinner plate. You can even get a platter if you want one. You get utensils. If you went to a buffet, there's knives and forks. Well, here we have spiritual principles. How are you going to use those to scoop up what you want in life? You're going to always get a napkin. We came into this life. God's mercy and grace is our napkin. It wipes away any stains, any crumbs, anything you got stuck on you, God's grace wipes it away. And most importantly, above the door, it has a sign that says, there is more than enough for everyone. Take what you want. My mother used to say, and she was a fabulous cook, and she would invite folks to dinner, and she would say, if you leave hungry, it's your own fault. See, we came into this life with all of this stuff, and at this cosmic buffet of life, just like you go down to the Bellagio or Main Street or any of these casinos, there are stations. We have stations in life. They call them family, community, relationship. There is the career station, and then there is your calling. Now, people say, well, isn't your career and your calling the same thing? Not necessarily. Your career is what you get paid to do. Your calling is what you were made to do. Now, she can have a career somewhere else, but I can bet you some money, these young folks here, their calling is to make music. That's what they were called to do. That's why they do it so well. So here you are, just like in any other buffet. We come into life, we come through the womb, and the sign says there's more than enough for everyone, and you start wandering through the stations. What happens if you get to a station and you put something on your plate and you decide you don't like it? In real life, if you're at a buffet, you can push that plate off to the side, get you a fresh plate. Some of us have done it, and they call it, you enter into a relationship, a marriage, it doesn't work, and you know it's not going to work, it doesn't taste right, it doesn't smell right, doesn't feel right, and we call it a divorce. We push it off, we get us a new plate. We can have another relationship. But just like at a casino, you get to the station and you're looking, you can put this much on or you can put a lot on. I'll take relationships. Some people have lots of relationships. They want a big family, they want children, sister-in-laws, they want all of that. Other people, they don't want all of that. So they put a little dab of this on their plate. But you are always at choice to take that ladle in life and put what you want on your plate. There's plenty enough for everyone. The sign has told us that. The Bible is a sign. And it says, you have not because you ask not. That brings me to a situation, and I know I'm not the only one. You know, frequently I will send my husband to the store to ask him to bring something back, and he said, well, they didn't have any. And I said, well, did you ask? Well, I didn't see it. I didn't mean they didn't have it because you didn't see it. Oh, and then he'd go back. Okay, you were right. It was way in, I don't even need to hear the explanation. It's way in the back. They say don't many people use that gumbo filet. Yeah, you're right, but they do have it. That is the same thing with life. When you're going through these stations in life and you're looking at what's there, there are always road signs. Just like the sign above the door says, there's plenty enough for everyone. There is no lack, limitation, or scarcity. We live in an abundant universe. When you go to a buffet, you can eat all you want. And if they run out, you'll see people standing there. What are you waiting on? I'm waiting on more green beans. No one comes along and puts anything on your plate. That's what happens in life. And what do? Most of us will look over as people are walking by, see what do they have on their plate? And you say, hey, where'd you get that? And they say, oh, I got it over there. They never take you by your hand and walk you over. They will point you in the direction. That's what happens in life. No one's going to hold your hand to lead you to your higher self. They're going to say, it's over there. They'll point you in the direction. That's what life is about. It's about choices. It's about being pointed in the direction. It's about believing. And when you sit down, here is the critical piece. When you sit down and they'll ask you, what would you like to drink? Now, I don't know about you, but one of the things that keeps showing up in my mailbox is juicing. And I have a juicer. Now, juice in life are your spiritual practices. They tell you it's the purest way to get all the fruits and vegetables because you get all of the nutrients. It grinds it up. It's easy on your system. It goes in and it goes down smoothly. Spiritual practice is your juice, pure protein. Just like at the buffet. You can go to the salad bar and eat all the good stuff, or you can go over there and have the carbs, or if you want to, just like in life, you can go to the dessert table and hang out. You can eat all the day. They don't care if you eat 5 pieces of pie and you don't eat the other things, this salad. They don't care if you say, well, I want orange juice. No, ma'am, I think you should have iced tea. It's like in life, we're always at choice as to what we want to take in. Nobody's going to come along in your life and put something on your plate. Because if they put it on your plate, you can push it aside and say, I don't want green beans, I want spinach. You get to choose what you have in your life. But now here's one thing that really works in our favor when we're meandering through this thing called life is our expectancy. If you knew coming into this world that by birthright, everything was yours, everything. Expectancy exceeds progress. It's like going to the buffet. You know it's there. All you got to do is wander from place to place until you find what it is you're looking for. That's called expectancy. You know, you don't ever get to a buffet and say, I wonder if they have anything here for me. You know it's there. We knew it was here, the reason we came here. And you know what? There is this good. I don't care what buffet in life you go to, there's always good. But do we always choose the good? No, we don't always choose it. But is it always available? Absolutely. So there you are going from station to station in life, putting things on your cosmic plate, deciding this is what I want. And more than anything, if you don't see what you want, you ask for it. When you get your drink, and this is the cup of acceptance in a nutshell. Have you ever noticed you get a drink and you start to drink it, and you look over and you say, hey, it's full again. It's free refills. That's what this thing is in life. You sip from your cup of goodness, and it fills up again. I use the analogy that if I have $1 and I give it to Carly, she now has $1. If she has $1 and she gives it to me, I now have $1. But if I have an idea and I give it to Carly and she has an idea and gives it to me, guess what? I now have 2 ideas. That's how life is. The more you give, the more is added unto you. Scripture says, to he who has, more is given. To he who has not, that he has shall be taken away. So when we think we're holding on to something, ooh, this is mine. I don't want anyone to know where I found out this secret to life. Guess what? You're not living from the overflow. We're not giving from the overflow. And that we have is going to be taken from us. But when we share and we give someone else something, our cup fills up. What I know is for me to rise in life, I must make sure that everyone else rises. That way, we create a world that works for all of us, and we all rise. It's called this rise in consciousness. It's why we do what we do over here, because we want people to have the best life possible, to know what their abundance is, to know that it is theirs by birthright, to know that no one can take it from you. You come through the door of your banquet of life to have whatever you want. You can look around and see what's on my plate. My plate may be this size, yours may be this size. There's another important station here. And I talk about your calling. Everyone that comes into this life has a calling. It is that which you were created to be, do, and have. See, I was a talker. I knew that when I was 5 years old, because I thought my name was Shut Up Judy-Ann. Because that's all I ever heard was, shut up, Judy-Ann. And I'm like, I got to school. What's your name? Shut up. My middle name is Judy-Ann. It took me a long time to realize that that was my calling. That was what I was made to do. But guess what? Sometimes you, just like you meander through life or meander through a buffet, you put something on your plate. I thought my calling was to grow up, be dutiful, get me a good job with some benefits. And it was while I was working that good job in the oil field that I discovered my calling as a teacher. And at the time, I thought, you know, who knew? I know that was the cosmic plan. You can't get it wrong. You cannot do you wrong. Who's going to tell you, look, Carly, you're doing you wrong? No one is an authority on you but you and God. So it was in that career that I discovered my calling as a teacher. And I knew that it was my calling because the day came when I couldn't wait to get out of bed to teach. I know this is my calling because this morning I was 3 hours away speaking in a community in Arizona, and we got in our car and we ate lunch, and I drove back here. I didn't even go home. I just needed to be here because I knew y'all were going to be here. That's when you know something is your calling. You can't wait to go do it. She sings. When I talked to her about coming and lending her voice to this service, she said, well, I'm going to take that into prayer. And if that's where I need to be, I'll be there. And after the first service, she took it in, and she was here. These two 19-year-olds, it's kind of scary that other people wonder what their teens are doing, and then I see these two. There's a young lady here. Her calling is to be a dancer. So when I did a Christmas program and I asked her to bring her gift, how do you think she showed up? In the most amazing way, because it was her calling. She didn't ask, well, I don't know, how long do I have to dance? What am I going to be doing? There were none of those questions. You show up and do that which you know is for you to do. This technology does not allow you to step away from it too long. We all came into this life because we knew it was good. We don't have to settle. You don't have to have anything on your plate that you don't want. And someone asked the question, well, if it's all good, excuse me, and it's all God, how do you explain what happened in Texas and what happened in Boston? Go with me on a journey. If you are in the cosmic buffet of life, I got this message Monday that came through the minister's listserv that said, there's been a bomb explosion in Boston. I didn't ask who, what, when, where, or how. I went immediately into prayer. That's what I have been conditioned to do. There was a need. I went right into prayer to know peace, to know compassion, to know that the perfect people were there addressing the situation. And I unplugged from the news. Because what I know is if you listen at CNN and NBC, ABC, and EIEIO, you're going to be clicking that remote and you're going to get sucked into that negativity. And the whole country was sucked in. Ooh, what happened now? I didn't get back into it until Thursday evening, and I happened to glance up. Yes, I admit, the TV was on. And I saw police officer killed on MIT campus. Well, it got my attention. Our first grandchild will go to college. This is his first year at MIT. So I'm back to that cosmic kitchen. You're wandering through and you say, well, if it's all good and it's all God, how does something like that happen? Like in any kitchen or any place, you have all the good and healthy over here, and somewhere near the exit sign is a bucket of all the stuff that needs to be thrown out because they've said it's no good. Well, here's what happened. Someone, and I'm not going to try to say it was these little brothers, because that's speculation. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I don't know, and I'm not buying into the news. But, oh, I know that ain't God calling me. Lord have mercy. I know it was not that funny. I'll call you back, God. Let me tell this story. Oh, this is a minister's worst moment. When the phone rings, and it's the minister's phone. Okay, back to the cosmic kitchen and the buffet. There is the stuff over here that needs to be thrown out. Someone, whoever the someones are, they ate this tainted, toxic stuff. They ingested that hatred, that confusion, that unhealthy stuff. And like all of us, when you eat something that doesn't agree with you, you may walk around for a while holding your stomach, expressing that it doesn't feel good. And if you believe anything that you've heard in the media, these folks were walking around and they started seeing symptoms that they weren't feeling good. But we're conditioned to mind our own business and no one did anything. So what happens when something gets in your system and it's toxic? Eventually, it's going to have to come up and it's going to have to come out. And the way I deal with this, when I see something like this, someone has wandered in to that dark alleyway at the end of the buffet and took some toxic substance in. It now is poisoning their system. And if you've ever held a baby and the baby was crying and you couldn't figure out why, and you keep trying to console them, and then pretty soon, what do? They throw up all over everything. That's what happened in Boston. That poison attitude, they threw it all up. It didn't just splatter on the people in Boston. It splattered on all of us across the world. It landed on us. And when I saw that the police officer had been killed on MIT campus, it was on my lips. Because I'm thinking, we have a grandchild there. Now, when this stuff and the negativity of life splatters on you, someone throws up their sickness onto you, you have a choice. You can take that napkin of grace and mercy and wipe it off, or you can ingest it and let it make you sick. And here's what happens when you wipe it off. Sometimes you have to get in the shower and wash it away with a bar of compassion. You got to scrub it with some forgiveness. You got to take a loofah and scrub all that resentment away. Get all that dead stuff off of you. That's what you have to do. And when I felt it splattered on me, and it was hitting real close to home, and my husband texted our daughter and said, I know you're frantic. Trey is on the campus. His mother and father were blowing up his phone, and they could not reach him. The campus is locked down. She doesn't know where her firstborn is. Well, typical child style, he had had a test the day before. He had been up studying for 15 hours. He had turned his phone off, and he had been asleep for the last 12 hours. He didn't even know this was going on. Now, were we relieved? Absolutely. I texted him, and it finally got through, and he called and said, yes, I'm fine. I slept through the whole thing. We were delighted. But what was more important was we went right into prayer. I chose not to get mad that this stuff is splattered in my face. It's all on me, because when you start talking about bloodlines, you know, you're getting real personal now. My forgiveness meter really needs to kick in, because I'm not starting to forgive you if you hurt my child. But I applied compassion to it and forgiveness and started washing it off. What you don't want to do is ingest it, because then you're going to become as sick as the person that ate the original tainted substance. Now, just like if you've ever washed a newborn baby, a little infant, and you wash them and you take care, what do you do when you take them out of the bathwater? What do you apply? What is it that you rub on babies after you bathe them? Lotion. Thank you, Mackenzie. I know you better not have any kids at 19. Okay. But you apply lotion. Our lotion in this case is love. We have to apply love to this, because if you apply fear, anger, resentment, you're going to become as sick and as ill as the parties that did this. We're in some ways conditioned to get mad, to become fearful of what happened. What would happen if you applied some love to it? Oh, it's on you. It got on all of us. And how do you explain it? Evil, according to the Bible, according to science and mind, is on this continuum. On one end, you have good and very good, and on the other end, you have the absence of good, commonly called evil. It's just like on one end you have light, and on the other end you have dark. And the only way you displace darkness is what? With light. You can have every light off in here, and you could come with one little match, and you're going to displace the darkness. That's what happens in society. When there's something that you don't like, you displace it with love. Now, I'm going to say this and wrap it up. Lord, this technology does not let you walk away from it very long. In these stations of life, and how you move in the world is going to be based on the nutritional value of that which you take in. If you take in love and compassion, you're going to move through the world in a much better way. Have you ever noticed you go to the buffet, everything is out there where you can see it. There are no locked doors. There's nothing in a cabinet that you have to look for. The same thing in life. God has put everything right where we can find it. If you don't see what you want, ask for it. If it doesn't exist, all the ingredients are there. You can make it. Just like Thomas Edison made the light bulb. Alexander Bell made the telephone. Jefferson created electricity. Did he create electricity? No. The potential and the ingredients were already there. All he did was put them in a formula that would work. And that's what we get to do. We call it, oh, he invented this. He put together a formula and a combination that no one else had put together. And that we call creation. We're really just putting and assembling and putting together the right combination of ingredients to produce something new. That's what life is about. Now, in your birthright, and I'm going to conclude with this, you have it, you have to claim it, you have to be it, you have to breathe it in and know that it is your birthright. Everyone that comes here has this cup full of potential, and the more you sip from the cup, the more it will fill up. But if you become and think there's a lack and scarcity, and you start holding on to something, it's going to start getting moldy and old. That's what happens. I knew a man that once upon a time, he was very stingy. and he wanted to make sure that nobody got his money. So what did he do? He put it in a cloth bag, and he buried it in his backyard. Well, when he went back to get it many years later, it had disintegrated. Like I said, he who has much, more will be given. He who has not, that shall be taken from him. That's why people say, I don't know what happened. Every time I turn around, something happens, and I have to spend money. And that's because they have a lack limitation consciousness. So that they have is taken from them. But when you sip from your cup all the time, guess what? There is always more for you to have. I make it a point of giving away something all the time with a regular frequency. She admired this necklace. Now, I was thinking, ooh, but I wear it with this and I really like it. But see, I need to give it away because you know what? I'm creating space for something else. That's the cup of acceptance. You got to give away something in order to create space for something new to come to you. Because for everything I have given away, the universe has brought back 100-fold. I can't tell you the people and things that have shown up in my life that, based on our linear mind and what we know about logic, it should not have happened. When I started this service, I was talking to Joe about what I wanted musically, and he showed up and said, you know, I hold that same vision. And Soul to Soul is the result of my sharing my vision with someone else who had a similar vision, and together we created this vehicle. But do you think it happened because I went to him when I had a need? No, I was already in relationship with him. That's how this thing called life, this cosmic thing works. You build the bridge before you need to go across. You don't wait till something is chasing you and then you decide you need to build a bridge. You need to build a bridge before you need it. So if you've built the relationship, you've built the bridge, you have tapped on it, and you know that it's trustworthy and sound, guess what? When the time comes and you need to cross, you can walk by with confidence because you've already built it. Does that make sense? So go out. Remember, you're always at choice as to what you can put on your plate. You always have the right to say no. There is enough for everyone. There's no such thing as lack, limitation, and scarcity. And in order to create room for more good, you got to let something go. Because nature is listening. The cosmic cook will fill your order. And if you make a mistake, start with a clean dish and create a whole new meal. I'm Miss Bertha's baby girl. I love you and thank you for being here. This is the time in our service when our prayer team, one day I'm going to be doing this and they're going to be so right on top of it, they're going to already be up here waiting for me to say something. This is the time my mother always said grace before we ate. It was just the only thing I knew. So we're going to say grace right now in the form of an affirmative prayer. We have taken that napkin of mercy and compassion and wiped our faces, and we're going to go in and cleanse away any of the residual feelings we have about the activities in our country this week. So I invite you to just close your eyes As our practitioners stand by, these are our prayer warriors who are trained in the art of affirmative prayer, and Mackenzie is going to sing us into the silence.
Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one. There's no separation, and the light is all we see, honoring all our differences, and truth will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a heathen going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul.
Recognizing that each one of us is standing in the cosmic kitchen of life, God's kitchen, for God is the kitchen. Oh, and at this buffet, God's stocked it as compassion, wisdom. God's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. God is forgiveness and love, peace and joy. God is all that I know and so much more. God is the unknown. God is all the good in the universe. And as I recognize all that God is, I know that I am one with that divine source. That I am a slipstream of God's goodness, made up from God's ingredients, from God's love, God's wisdom, God's compassion. That is who and what I am. And as I recognize that is who Judy-Ann is, I know that the I am of each one that is present is a divine emanation of God made manifest. That God blew its breath of life into each one of us. Oh, that we stand here in this cosmic kitchen with everything we've ever needed right at the table. It is ours just for the taking, for the asking, for the exploring, for the choosing. So I can speak my word, declare it, and know it to be true. That there is a healing balm of compassion and forgiveness that we apply to all of these activities that make us question God's goodness. For what I know is there is no spot where God is not. And each one of us cannot rely on our own understanding. For what I know is behind all activity, God is present. So I stand firmly in the truth of a divine God that loves without limitation, that gives without reservation. And I know that in this moment, none of us is willing to ingest anything unlike the pure, healthy substance of God, which is love and compassion for all parties, even when we don't understand. For I know that we are a mighty people, and together we will heal, and it will be revealed, and we take accountability and responsibility. to bless it, to know that we are infinite possibilities here, right now, that we're being called into our greater yet to be. And I am so grateful to know that life unfolds abundantly, and it is always my choice as to what I want to be, do, and have. So in my gratitude, I plant the seed of the harvest of love. I plant the seed of compassion. I plant the seeds of forgiveness. I water them with my tears and my love and my commitment to creating a world that works for all of us. Knowing that these seeds are planted deep in the soil of my consciousness, I graciously stand back, know it is so, and together we say, and so it is. And so it is.
Aren't we lovely? Aren't we beautiful? Angels from heaven, stars in the universe.